All right, so this model has all kinds of epithelial coverings and associated tissues with it. Up here we have the larynx, or the voice box. We have cartilage, hyaline cartilage in C-shaped rings, and we have the Adam's apple here if you're a male, all the way down through this respiratory pathway that we'll see in a minute as I remove these structures. We will find there's epithelial tissue all throughout that we'll mention. In fact, this bronchial tree that we see branching out beneath on either side of the heart, that is difficult to reveal, there we go, that's seen here, has a transition of all epithelial types from top to bottom, deep into the alveoli. So it begins as pseudostratified ciliated columnar epithelial that lines the trachea here, as it branches into bronchi, large bronchi, and then smaller primary, secondary, and tertiary bronchi. It's going to transition first into simple columnar, that would be ciliated. Then it becomes just simple columnar. Then it becomes simple cuboidal, deeper into these branches, and then eventually it'll become from stratified squamous to simple squamous in the alveoli that you see in the lung, right there, deep in the lung tissue. This organ is in the ventral body cavity, and thus it's covered with simple squamous epithelia that's referred to as mesothelium, as is the heart. Right, so we have the heart in the middle portion of this cavity. Here we would have, for regions, this would be the superior mediastinum. Right, and the mediastinum also has a middle portion to it, which is consistent with the pericardial cavity where the heart is sitting here. So this too is an organ in the ventral body cavity, and thus it's covered in mesothelium or simple squamous epithelia as well. And that simple squamous layer on both of these two organs would be also referred to as a serous membrane, the visceral pericardium for the heart and pleura for the lungs. And likewise, below the diaphragm, which is what this is right here, the diaphragm would have below it a whole slew of other organs, and the organs that are below this would also have mesothelium covering them, and a visceral peritoneal layer that covers it. Okay, so if I ask for the serous membrane that covers the organ, you're going to give me visceral or parietal pericardium, pleura, or peritoneum. If I ask for the specific name of the tissue that covers each of these, which is the same thing, you would give me mesothelium, and if I ask for the tissue type, you would say simple squamous epithelial tissue. The heart is unique because the heart itself has three different examples of simple squamous in it. We have on the surface, like I said, mesothelium. In the vessels that come out of the heart, those would be lined with endothelium. And then in the heart's chambers here, the shiny material that you see in these chambers would be endocardium, which is also simple squamous, each of these diffusing respiratory gases. All right, so as we look at the bronchial tree one more time and we come up here above it, you have quite a few structures. If I take this off, this is the larynx. And if I pull it apart, you can see right here, this is the epiglottis, this structure that is pushed down over the opening to the airway as you swallow food or liquid so that you don't inhale that food or liquid, is made up of elastic cartilage connective tissue. This entire airway from here down would be lined with pseudostratified ciliated columnar epithelia, at least to the base of the trachea where it splits into the primary bronchi where it transitions into a simple columnar type of tissue. So the lining here, as I said, is